Okay, do not be confused with these terms pag sales. Ang business activity ay with products. Okay, mayroong palitan ng goods or products. Kapag service naman ang ino-offer, ang term natin gagamitin ay fees. Kapag combination plus, kapag combination din. Mayroong sales, mayroong fees. Okay? Meron yung business. Merong sales lang. Merong fees lang. Merong businesses na sales lang. Merong why false. Alam niyo itong term na respectively? Alam niyo yung term na respectively? Clear natin. Kaya siya false. Kasi yung unang object na minention or unang element na minention ay income for service. Okay, di ba pag sinabing respectively, kung ano yung unang term na minention, the first term mentioned is the one defined ng second or ito, katulad nito. Di ba unang minention income for service? Dapat yung second niya na minention na element ay fees, not sales. Nakuha? Ganon kasi yun eh. Pag sinabing respectively, kung ano yung unang minention, yung former, yun yung former term, former element. Kapag latter, the second element minention. Nakuha? Kung ano yung first, yun yung second, yun yung minimension niya. Nakuha, class? Kaya siya sinabing respectively. Kung ano yung pag-arise in order, ganon din yung define, particularly on that element. Eh, ang unang sinabi, service. Dapat yung unang minention, fees, not sales. O, yung second element na minention, trading. Dapat pangalawa, sales. Nakuha nyo, class? Nakuha? Yun, ganun siya. Kaya siya naging false. Kasi yung unang minention is service. O yan. Yung unang minention, service. Therefore, the element to be referred to as dapat fees, not sales. Diba? And then trading, dapat for sales. Eh, ang nakalagay, baliktad, sales and fees. When we say respectively, it is based on the order or the occurrence ng element. Yan. Yun siya nasusunod. Kaya siya nilagyan ng term respectively. Okay, next. The recording of business transactions showing their dual effects on accounting values. Sige, please go back. Go sa part ng multiple choice. Please, sa inyong mga genyo para makasunod. Okay, the recording of business transactions daw showing dual effects. Again, lagi ko minimension sa inyo na ang double entry bookkeeping system are very crucial and complicated. Crucial or complicated, bakit? Kasi the business parang can be said na applying good bookkeeping or good accounting if they apply double entry bookkeeping system. Ano ba yung double entry bookkeeping system? There are two-fold effects. Pag sinabing double entry, two-fold effects. Ito yung nawala sa yung value at yung na-receive mong value. As compared to single entry bookkeeping system. Yung mga nagsi-single entry bookkeeping system, yung mga small businesses. Na katulad, example, yung malapit sa inyo, sari-sari store. O imagine niyo na. Let's say, sari-sari store is using only the single entry. But don't get me wrong, merong mga small businesses na double entry bookkeeping system ang kanilang application or approach. Okay? Example lang, single entry Ayan, bookkeeping system. Ayan, EBS. Single entry bookkeeping system. Ang sari-sari store. Ayan, sari-sari stores. Ang ina-apply nila single entry. Paano ba yan? Let's say, namili sila ng stocks sa tindahan. Okay. Lalagay lang nila sa kanilang recordings, expenses, let's say, umabot ng 30,000 pesos. $30,000. Kapag single entry bookkeeping system ang sari-sari store. Okay? Expenses lang nila ang nire-record, 30,000 pesos. Whereas, kapag ang business ay ang approach or ang application ay double entry bookkeeping system, it's like this. They spend 30,000 pesos expenses. They spend 30,000 pesos. They will know that this 30,000 pesos will now be convert to sales kapag lahat yan ay na-dispose, lahat ng products ay naubos or na-dispose or nabenta. 30,000 pesos. Double entry. Equal or balance. 30,000 pesos. Meron kang entry ng sales, meron kang entry ng expenses. Double entry. To make the entry balance, to make the entry equal. Kaya siya double entry. Merong expenses, and out of that expenses, kapag naibenta, na sold out lahat ng products, that will convert into sales. As compared to recording or approach na single entry bookkeeping, recording ka lang expenses, tapos magre-record ka lang ng benta mo after, let's say, a long period of time, na after naubos mo pa yung 30,000 pesos, doon ka lang magre-record ng iyong sales. Whereas kapag double entry bookkeeping system, once you spend, magre-record ka na agad automatically ng iyong sales. Ganon ang double entry bookkeeping system. You recognize right away your revenue. Nakikita mo agad yung iyong future or kikitain in the business. Kasi the application you use is this one, the double entry bookkeeping system. Nakuha? Hopefully, you get my point. Next. Ayan, this one. Only 3.7% got this incorrect. It is type of business activity which refers to buying raw materials and converting them into finished goods. So, it is under the manufacturing business activity. Ayan, bibili ka ng mga raw materials or mga ingredients and then i-convert mo yan into final product or finished goods. You call that manufacturing. You manufacture products. Next. Business organization owned by 5 or more persons. As you can see, 77%. Got it correct? Okay. With a legal personality granted by law. Okay, kahit na 5 or more persons kayo, hindi kayo mako-consider na corporation unless you are granted by our law, our government, na corporation kayo. You will not be considered as corporation. Or else, partnership lang kayo. Equally divided. I-divide lang yan equally. Kahit na malaki yung shares mo in the business, pag hindi kayo nag-grant ng government or ng ating batas na considered kayo as corporation, partnership lang. Partnership. Okay, equally divided. Kahit maliit lang yung shares mo or malaki yung shares mo, partnership lang kayo. Next. The government agency that regulates the practice of professions in the country. This one, PRC, Professional Regulation Commission. Even the doctors, the nurses, engineers, architects, what else? Agriculturist. Ayan, meron silang license under the PRC or Professional Regulations Commissions. The lawyer or doctor, meron din PRC. Pag lawyer, iba, hindi dyan, under Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Ayan. If you want to have professions, someday that is license, mayroon kayong license, you are granted or regulated by this agency, the Professional Regulation Commission. Ayan, iniba-iba. Oops. Iniba-iba ko lang yung, wait. Nawala ko. Wait, class. Okay, iniba-iba ko lang dito yung choices. Ayan, as you can see, meron on option A, merong manipulator. On option B, merong relatives. On option C, merong neighbors. The best answer is this one, management, owners, creditors, government agencies, prospective investors. These are the users of financial statements. Those who will be needing or verifying your financial statements are management, owners, creditors, government agencies, prospective investors. Not manipulator, not your relatives, although they are your relatives, but they are not the one who are interested. Maybe they are interested, but they are not in the they are not permitted to see or check your statements because, of course, you want to keep your documents confidential, right? Neighbors, not. So for this one, the correct answer is letter B. Wait lang. Window is turned on, Lazada. Excuse me. Lance is absent. Okay. Bakit yung iba naka-off? Ang camera.
Sure. Nasabi po ba ni
Yes
Sir
po.
Jeric yung akin? Thank you
Yes,
po.
okay. Yan. Meron naman, lagi naman ang advisor nagsisend sa GC. And then, dun sa iba, na wala namang problem sa connection o sa internet connection or sa camera. Please turn on your cameras. Next. Yan. I gave you dito mga lots of mga choices. I think I gave parang 15 options, I think. Okay. The statement showing the sources and uses of cash. For this one, the correct answer is cash flow. From the term itself, cash flow statement. Next, use as evidence of transactions. Business papers, these are mga official receipts, invoices, bills, and so on. Statement showing how much business earned, how much expenses it incurred, and either income or net loss is shown on this statement. Okay, nakasort yan. Tatlo yan. Balance sheet. Ito yung old terminology niya, balance sheet, pero ito ay financial position statement. Financial position statement. Tatlo yan. Isa, pangalawa ay income statement, IS. Pangatlo, cash flow statement. Tatlo lagi ang pinoprovide na statement. Ito yung financial statement, tatlo rather. Balance sheet or the so-called financial position statement. Pangalawa, income statement. And pangatlo, cash flow statement. Tatlo po palagi. Next. Stewardship function. Ano ba yung stewardship function? Accounting safeguards the interest of all parties who can be affected by the operations of the business entities. Again, when we say stewardship, these are jobs that will take good care of the interest ng lahat ng parties. Okay? Let's say, the job of the bookkeeper, the job of the accountant. Well, the job of the bookkeeper and the accountant is to keep it private or keep it confidential, the amounts or the capital that the owner or the stockholder invested into. Kailangan hindi niya yan sinasabi kahit kanino because merong stewardship function ng isang bookkeeper or accountant. Kailangan iingatan niya lahat ng information or data in the business. Kailangan maging confidential lahat ng information in the business. Isa yon sa mga role or task ng bookkeeper. Records of transactions. Again, these are books. Books of accounts. The excess of revenue over expenses. Okay, mas mataas daw yung revenue than expenses. Of course, net income. Mayroong income. Although 10 pesos, although 1,000 pesos lang, basta mas mataas ang revenue than in its expenses, there is net income. Bookkeeping, recording phase of accounting. Recording phase of accounting is bookkeeping. Okay? The accounting will start if the bookkeeping ends. Again, the accounting will start if the bookkeeping ends. Okay? The excess of expenses over revenue. So this time, mas mataas yung expenses than its revenue, net loss. This one statement showing how much more items of value that a business owns, its obligations or liabilities, and the owner's equity in the business. Ito yon. Balance sheet or the financial position statement. And then it has been considered as the language of business. Language of business is accounting. So that every businessman must have adequate knowledge thereof. And to those who are new to this subject, I understand that there are a lot of mga terminologies, a lot of terms na nalilito or you are confused to use yung mga words. It's okay. You'll get used to that as we move along. Ganon din yung mga mga old students ng bookkeeping. At first, you ask them, ayan, mahirap din yan para sa kanila. It's because, ayan, maraming mga terms na bago to you. It's your first attempt, first try. Ayan. But you'll get used to that, mga terms. To those, rather. Ano pa? Okay. So you can see, okay naman ang result. Correct answers. Last part of your test. Bookkeeping is the recording of business transactions in a systematic manner. So when we say systematic, it should be organized, it should be properly labeled, properly sorted, properly categorized, kaya siya systematic. Accounting is a service activity, of course. The skills and knowledge ng accountant or bookkeeper are being ported into, shared. Its function is to provide, of course, quantitative information. Malalaman mong successful ang business, malalaman mong lugi ang business with the help of numbers, with the help of quantitative data or information, with the help of, again, numbers. Primarily financial in nature, about economic entities that is useful in making decisions. Okay, ito yung basic accounting equation. Assets always equals liability plus owner's equity. Assets always equals liability plus owner's equity. Assets are economic resources. It may be cash, it may be furniture and fixtures, it may be accounts receivables. Those are assets. Those are sources of income. Liabilities are economic obligations. Liabilities are economic obligations. And then the excess ng asset, if we deduct liabilities from asset, it's called owner's equity. You will know na yun ay share ng owner you will know na yon ay portion ng owner in the business kapag i-deduct ang liability from asset. Malalaman mo na share yon ng owner, yon ang ininvest ng owner sa business kapag i-deduct ang liability from your asset. This one, double entry bookkeeping system is based on the assumptions that in every business transaction there is, ito yung double entry, pakitandaan po, value received, value parted with. Value received and value parted with. Yun ang double entry. Another equation. Revenue minus expenses, it's either net income or net loss. Kapag mas mataas ang revenue than expenses, net income. Kahit maliit ang income, it's still positive, it's still earning. The business is still earning. Kapag mas mataas naman ang expenses, meaning lahat ng ginastos in the business, lahat ng in-spend in the business, mas mataas yung kanyang gastusin, sure that it will give a negative answer, which is net loss. Lugi. Kapag mas mataas ang expenses than the amount it's earning, lugi. When expenses exceed revenue, the difference is called net loss. And then when a business has incomplete records, or this one, the single entry will considered or will define as incomplete records of its transactions. Single entry yan. That only records of cash transactions and a narration of major transactions are maintained. It is said to be using single entry lang. Single entry bookkeeping system. Any question? Meron kayo class na lilitong part? Sige, yung corrections, pakisend lang ha. Sisend, pakisend. And my question back, class, do you have any clarifications regarding topic, particular topic? Wala. Yes, any questions pa? Ayan. Again, for those who are new to this subject, it's okay. You'll get used to the topic, to the terms as we go along. And meron nga mga mga old na student na lito din eh. It's okay. Yan. Paulit-ulit yan. Ngayon na meron na kayong attempt ng mga terms na yan, first attempt on your terminologies, yan na yon. Yan at yan na yung mga uulit-ulitin. And as you continue the same track, the same strand, ABM, you will have an edge on the others na mga students, say lilipat kayo ng ibang school, if you bear the words or the terminologies in your mind, you will have an edge, I'm sure, or an advantage. Okay. I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start the new lesson, lesson 2. We'll elaborate more on the terms.